we'll be doing the same thing. So if you're using a watch, go ahead and set your watch. Have whatever you need nearby, blocks, blankets, towels. You know, some people like to have water nearby. And just as comfortably as you can sit in this position. So again, if you have to make any adjustments, go ahead and make adjustments. And just, I think everybody's mute, but if not, just double check. Take your dominant hand on top of your less dominant hand and just close your eyes and gaze towards the tip of your nose. Allowing yourself, so feel your sitting bones underneath you on the block or on the floor, wherever you are, on your heels if that's the way you learn to sit. And so that it kind of tilts the pelvis into a little bit of a more neutral position. So we're not arching our back or excessively arching in either or pulling in either direction. Close your eyes and just drop your shoulders down and feel the breath moving from the base of your spine, very, very lowest part of your spine, sacrum, tailbone, rolling up through in a circular motion through your spine, and touching upon, we have 6 chakras, major 7, in our body. Major chakras, there's many, many spinning wheels through our body. But each one it touches on in our major chakras are the color of the rainbow, like a prism. So red, orange, yellow, green at your heart, blue at your throat, violet between your 2 brows, and white at the top of the head. So you feel this energy moving upward, spiraling upward. When you release the breath, you just release all tension. So physical tension, mental tension, and continue to just breathe in and out. Good morning. Is that Maria? Hi. Maria. So continue to breathe. And we're sitting on a block, Maria, with your knees forward, heels back, dominant hand on top of less dominant hand. And it's interesting that I have my left hand as my dominant hand because I am a righty, but I have more strength in my left hand, so I consider it more my dominant side. And perhaps set an intention for the practice this morning, Saturday morning. You know, for some people it's the weekend. And then bring your hands together at your heart center now, touching the thumbs to the heart. Your heart, that color of green, but 4th chakra. Breathe against the palms of your hands. So as you inhale, see as much breath as you can spread across your chest. And then exhale, gently tuck your chin towards your chest and just allow for some tension to release from the neck, the cervical spine. Thank you, Siri. Keep your chin down as you release your arms in front of you. Spin your palms, interlace your fingers, spin your palms together out in front of you. And then scoop out your belly now like a letter C. So now you have this concave spine. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. There's the temptation just to lift them right up to your ears. And then lift your chest, start to come up out of this, sitting in a tall spine. And then bring your hands behind your head, interlacing your fingers, keeping the interlace of the fingers. Open the arms. And then try not to arch your back, but sit up on top of your sitting bones again. And then just lean to your right side. Go as long, as low as your arms will take you without collapsing. Come back to center on the inhale. Lift up and over to the left side, exhale. Elbows line up as much as they can with each other. Heart is open, so you're getting a nice stretch in your front chest, shoulders. And then inhale, come back up. And this time we'll turn the torso to the right. The hips are going to stay where they are. Inhale back to center. So without using your hands, moving your torso, go to the other side. Right? Without using your hands, how much space are you getting? Come back to center. Inhale and exhale back over to the right side, leaning. This time release the right arm and see if you can get a little bit more space by pressing the right hand down lifting out of your waistline torso, and then even perhaps rotating your left shoulder torso back. So it should feel really kind of yummy. And then inhale back up, hands interlaced. Maybe think about changing the finger position once. Exhale, lean over to the left side. What are you thinking, Crosby? Take your left hand down, use it against the ground, and then rotate your torso shoulder open a little bit. So you should feel like you get a little bit more movement through your body. Inhale back up, interlace the fingers once again. Once again, let's turn to the right side, so rotating the torso. And now release the right hand behind you and lift up and back, and a little bit of a twist again. So just these different movements of the spine. How much space can we create? Sometimes the simplest thing just gives us a little bit more space. Inhale, come back up, turn to the center, interlace the fingers one more time as you rotate to the left side. I have more space on my left side, which is interesting because I use my left hand as my dominant hand, so perhaps my whole left side is my dominant side. Left arm down, right arm up. Open up your chest, shoulders. And then return, hands behind your head. Come back to center, exhale, and once again bring your chin to your chest. Point your elbows down, and go ahead back and scoop out the belly one more time. Inhale, rise up, stretch the arms straight up overhead. Exhale, hands to the floor. Take yourself off your block, come on up to your hands and knees. And let's get a little bit more movement through the spine. As you can keep your hands a little bit in front of your shoulders here. And wag your tail from side to side. And it's almost like you're creating a semicircle, shifting your hips towards your shoulders. And from that semicircle, perhaps you make circular motions through the pelvis. And through the circular motions, perhaps you start to move forward and back, juicing up your joints. Shoulders, wrists, hips, knees, ankles, fingers, toes. And then reverse your direction. So start off in that maybe semicircle, and then maybe taking it to a more of a full circle, and then a bigger circle. You know, and that's, again, it's kind of your body's choice. One more time, and then let's just go forward and back, dropping the hips down, releasing, pushing back towards your heels, child's pose, just for the breath. Keep going forward and back, drop your hips. This is a, like a hybrid upward dog, because our knees are down, and our feet are a little bit wider, perhaps. We're going to do one more of these, and we're going to knee back in child's pose. Sit back on your heels, keep your knees wide here. Reach your arms wide as well. So pinky edges on the edges of your mat. Spread across the shoulders, breathe from side to side and from top to bottom. Inhale and exhale. Take another breath here. Then walk your hands in towards your knees. Come forward a little bit to tuck your toes. And then just sit on your heels with your heels together, but your knees apart and your arms are still out as wide as your mat. Hug your knees around your triceps, the outer arms. Bring your chin to your chest and round your spine here. If this is too excessive for anybody's knees, just go into a forward fold. Right? You don't have to be in this low squat. Pull the belly back and in, round your spine, relax neck and shoulders. Then inhale, lift yourself up, walk your hands back and bring your knees together. Plant your palms on the floor blocks and stretch your legs up straight, separate your feet hips width apart. Maybe even a little bit wider than hips width. And now take your hands in the same width. So hands right in front of your feet. Bend the knees as much as you need to, or put your hands on blocks so that your palms are firmly flat on the floor. Your thumbs almost face towards each other. And then you spread the fingers, and then take this elbow crease forward so the shoulders are slightly open. And I'm keeping my knees bent for a little bit longer here. You can straighten your legs if you'd like, but my back just doesn't feel ready to completely surrender. And when you're ready to just settle in center, settle in, shift your weight a little bit forward. So you want to think about getting your hips over your heels. Okay, not lifting your heels up, but shifting your weight forward. So now you feel like you're putting a little bit more weight in your hands as well. The ball of the foot carries a little bit more weight. So it's just getting your hip, knowing where our hips are over our heels becomes a really a theme, a thread, a sutra through our practice. Bring your chin to your chest and round your spine. Now rise up onto your fingertips or onto your shins or block, and you're just kind of lightly gripping the floor with your fingers. Look upward towards your belly button, and then round your back and take your time. As you lift your fingers up, you hang a little bit longer in this fold as you roll up through your spine. The very last thing that comes up is your head. When you get up, roll your shoulders back and around. Good. Take your arms down by your side, spread your fingers, open your palms, reach long. So push your fingertips down, press your shoulders back, and bring the crown of the head to the sky. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Touch the prayer to your heart. Exhale, open your arms and bend your knees and touch the floor with your fingertips. Inhale, rise with a flat back, arms come out and up, touch the palms. Bring prayer to your heart center, exhale. Release your arms. Inhale, stretch them up. Palms touch. Open the arms, softly fold, swan dive, bend your knees, touch the earth. Inhale, halfway lift, come all the way up. Touch the palms in prayer, and exhale, arms by your side. Last time, inhale. Exhale, open swan dive, fold, fingertips to floor, shins, blocks. This time look forward, inhale. Keep the weight towards your feet and begin to walk your hands forward to downward facing dog. So, sometimes we start off really slowly, just warming up our body, getting our heads in the game as well. And speaking of the game, guys, watch The Hustle with Adam Sandler. All right, I don't get paid for that, guys, but it was a great movie. Lower your heels towards the floor, back behind you, biceps by the ears. Let's measure it out. Come on your toes, shift forward, find a high plank. Pause in your plank and broaden your collarbones. Lift your knees up, lift your belly up. Stay strong through your body, never collapsing. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, rise on your toes. Shift forward, high plank. Pause, don't hold your breath. Lower your left knee to the floor. Right toes tucked underneath you. Press the left top of the foot, shin down, or you can tuck your toes. Lift your right leg in the air, lengthen it away from you. And then bend your knee, flex the foot. Don't use your hands, just square up your hips, keep your belly pulled in, and lift your heel a little higher, your knee a little higher. And then bring your knee to your chest, round and curl. Look between your hands and step your right foot through. Help it out if you need to. I like the blocks here, but you don't have to use them. If you have them, take advantage of them. Make sure you're not sitting on your back knee, so your leg goes slightly back so that you can drop through the hip. And hug your right hip in towards your center. One more breath. I was just checking to see if my foot was sickling behind me. Sometimes it does. Take that same back foot and turn it to the side. Place a block inside your right foot, right hand on the block. Left hand on your hip, or begin to lift it up over your shoulders. So Cosby, you like this? Breathe in, breathe out. So your right hand's inside right knee, your left arm is up. Think of it like a side angle pose. Good, look down at your right toes. Inhale, come up to standing on your left knee. And then release your left hand to your left thigh. Some of you might be able to touch the floor. Put the block back there. And just open up to the side. Good. Come back in. Hands on either side of the right leg. Turn your back foot forward and straighten your right leg. So we did something like this the other day. Left hand stays down. Right arm opens up with the twist and the right leg straight. So opening up, trying to create some space away from your thigh. If your right leg is bent, that's okay. So be it, who cares? Just means maybe your hamstrings are a little tighter today. On the exhale, bring the hand down. Bend the front knee. Tuck your back toes underneath you. Plant your palms on the floor or blocks. Lift your hips up. And step back to a downward facing dog. Hips up in the air. Stay on your downward dog or shift yourself forward to a high plank. Look forward. Stay strong and stable. Shift a little bit more. Bend the elbows. Take as many push-ups as you like or skip them all together. And meet again in downward facing dog. Breathe in and breathe out. Good. Inhale, come back to your plank. Lower your right knee to the floor. Tuck your left toes underneath you. Hips are squared, shoulders squared. Float your left leg off the floor, lengthen it, and then bend it, and then kick it a little higher without collapsing into your right side. So stay stable. I know you're on one knee, but you're still on two hands, so let the left arm carry as much weight as the right. Then bring the knee to the chest, round and curl, and step your foot between your two hands. Help it out. Place your hands on the floor or blocks, lengthen your spine. So just check out that your back knee is back far enough that you're not sitting on the patella. Pull your shoulders back, collarbones forward, and can you lift a little bit of the space between your, let's say your left ribs even, and your left thigh, right? So if you're collapsed down here, definitely the blocks will help, or put your hands here so you have a little bit more length in the spine. Good, then turn the right toes to the left side. Take your left hand on the inside on a block if you can, right hand to your hip. Open up the torso. And then the right arm comes up. So, you know, a lot of people are surprised that blocks are actually a useful tool, not a crutch. But they create more space in the body, and boy, that's what I crave. I need that space in my body. Look down at your left toes. Rise up to standing on your back knee. So it's like a warrior two. Exhale, right arm down, left arm up and back. Some of you might be able to reach the floor with your fingertips, but don't compromise your body for it. Right? Don't compromise your form or your breath. So I'm just going to hold on to my right calf a little bit more. Good. Inhale, come on back. Return your hands on either side. Spin your back foot forward. And begin to, ooh. I'm back. I'm back. Can you hear me? Are we good? Okay. We were straightening our left knee on our right knee. And the wonders of internet, will that ever stop? All right. All right, so now we're straightening the left leg, little hamstring stretch, and then twisting to the left side. Option, you don't have to do it. Stacking the shoulders, hugging the hips towards your midline, finding space. Breathe in, breathe out. Good. Release the hand, bend the front knee. Tuck your back toes underneath you. Place the hands on floor blocks. Downward facing dog, hips up in the air. Stay in your dog or take a vinyasa. Come forward to plank. Bend the elbows. Roll through. Upward and downward dogs. Breathe in, breathe out. Come high up on your toes. Walk your feet to your hands. Come halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Stay in this forward fold for a moment. Take two fists in between your feet. Measure it out. Of course, you can have your hands on the blocks if you'd like. Let your belly rest on your thighs for a moment. Stay here. And as you stay in this position, send your weight a little bit more forward so your hips are over your heels. And then, if you like, begin to straighten the legs a little bit, a lot, whatever feels right for you. So you have a little weight into the big toe, ball of foot, heel of the foot, and pinky toe. Now tucking the chin to the chest, start to round your spine and feel your arms lifting. And then as the arms lift, the torso starts to roll up. Take your time. When you get up to standing, roll your shoulders back and around a couple times. Good. Standing up in Tadasana Mountain Pose. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold, hands to floor blocks. So always keep the blocks kind of nearby. Should you need them, want them, exhale. Step your right foot to the back of your mat. Big, generous step. All right. Low lunge. Sorry, I'm obsessed by a piece of hair that's on my mat and it drives me crazy. And so low lunge, hands on blocks. Left hand is going to come to the thigh, maybe the forearm. Spin your right foot on its side, and then take your right hand to the hip. So this is just what we did on our knees. Right arm comes up. But here's the trick. Take your left arm off your thigh, and if your torso doesn't move, then I know that you're not holding your weight from there. So if your torso moves, get a little bit more weight into the feet. Try to practice working through your core center to support you. Breathe in. Maxine, I can see a lot more of you today. That's awesome. Take another breath. Good. Now, come back up to that warrior two. Just like we did on the floor. Reach back with your right arm, reach forward with your left, and bend your front knee. Spiral your upper thighs outward, and try to kick your heels inward towards each other. Warrior two, Virabhadrasana 2, or B. Good, stay here and jump with the right arm. Take the left arm up. Reach up, reach up, reach up, and over. Take your right hand on your right hip, and just kind of guide the right hip towards the left knee without doing anything else than changing your shape. Just gives you a little bit more release, a little bit deeper stretch in the left side, and a little bit more lift out of the right side. Good. Inhale, come back down to the floor with your hands on either side of your left leg. Spin your back foot forward. Right hand stays on the inside. Left arm comes in and up, twist. Breathe. Now, if you'd like to, straighten your front leg as much as you can. Wide-legged pyramid pose. So back to the hamstrings, but don't collapse in your torso. So use your block higher, back further, whatever you need. Exhale, hands to the floor. Keep your legs straight for a moment. Good. Then rebend your front knee. And let's take a downward dog with your left leg in the air. Open your left hip. Flex and point the toes. Move through the ankle. And again, your weight's on one leg, but two arms. Keep your knee bent. Turn your hips square, knee to chest, round curl. Shift forward, high plank. Step your left foot through. Bring your right foot to meet at halfway lift, and when you get there. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale, ride your breath to stand your way. Arms come up. Prayer to your heart center, exhale. Release your arms by your side. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, forward fold, hands to floor, shins or blocks. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step your left foot all the way back. Low lunge. Low lunge, but our knee is off the floor. Hips hug into the center. Breathe in, breathe out. Of course, blocks again, of course, are always helpful. Then turn your back foot on its side as your right arm comes up to the thigh. Left hand to your hip. So right here, pick up your arm and notice if your torso collapses. If it does, it just means you're carrying your weight in your arm to lift you up. See if you can find some energy through your hips, your glutes, right? Those big muscles, and your torso, your core. Left arm comes up. Spin your heart to the left side, spin your torso to the left side. Left pinky toe down on the floor. Inhale. So keep working. This is a great opportunity to get some movement in your torso without, closing off our body, without closing off our breath. And now reach down from the inside, come up to warrior two. A little tricky, lyrical cue. Pull your left arm back, right arm forward. Gaze steady. Doesn't have to be over your hand. Could be to your left side. You could close your eyes. Sink a little bit deeper through your hips. Stay strong through your legs. And without changing anything else, just drop the left arm and lift the right arm up. Lift up and over a little bit more as you begin to push your left hip towards your right knee to get a little bit more length in the right side and a little bit more length actually in the left side as well. So no collapsing, no dumping. Good. Now inhale, let's come back to our lunge. Hands on the floor or blocks. Good. Right hand to the hip as you rotate the torso. Right arm comes up. And now you can stay in your bent position or begin to straighten your front leg. Hug your hips to the midline. Breathe in and out. Your eye gaze, you can be down at the floor if it makes you more stable, which it will. Take another breath. Then release your right arm, but keep your legs straight. Fold over it. So drawing back on the right hip, forward on the left. Good. Inhale. Rebend your front knee. Look forward. Plant your hands to the floor. Step your right leg in the air, three-legged. Open your hip. Keeping the weight distributed in both right and left arms. Do whatever it is that makes you feel good with your leg. And then spin yourself forward. Downward facing dog. Stay in your dog or shift through plank, push up, up and down. Good. All right. Breathe in, breathe out. Bring your feet closer together. Rise up onto your toes. Lift your right leg high in the sky. Step out, right foot in. Left foot on its side. Warrior two. Reach in two directions. Reverse your warrior. Straighten your front leg. Arms up shoulder height. You decide if you need to shorten your stance or keep it where it is. Move your hips to the left and reach out to the front. Right arm comes down, inside, outside, foot, shin, or block. Left arm over shoulder. Lift up and pull your right hip towards the left a little bit more. And then put your left shoulder over your right shoulder. Good. Pulling might not be the right word, but pressing. So imagine that you're leaning against a wall with your left shoulder. Looking down at your right toes for a moment. As you inhale, reverse this with a straight leg. Up, over to the back side. And then come back through warrior two, just to bring your hands to the floor, into your low lunge. Left arm stays, right arm opens up, twist. Now let's go ahead and plant your left hand on the floor. And then spin onto the outer edges of both feet. So we're not straightening the leg right now, but we're getting into the IT bands kind of on both legs. So you're on the outer edge of the right foot, outer edge of the left foot. Breathe. One more breath. Bless you. And then come back around. Now straighten the leg with your head down towards your shins, hands on the floor, blocks. Inhale, pull the right hip back, exhale, fold over it. You can walk your hands back, forward, any variations that suit you here. One more breath. Inhale, rebend your knees, low lunge. Good. Step into a three-legged downward dog, right leg up. Keep your knee bent as you turn your hips square. Bring your right knee to your center chest, round and curl. Stay here as you bring it to your right shoulder. And then swing it over to your left shoulder. Back to center. Three-legged dog. Decide to take a one or two-legged vinyasa here. You choose. Or no vinyasa at all. Downward dog. Feet together, back of the mat. Inhale on your toes, left leg up. Exhale, bring your left leg all the way through. Spin your right foot on its side. Inhale, open up to warrior two, facing the right side of your mat. So adjust your shoulders over your hips, left leg parallel to the floor. Inhale. Exhale, right arm down, left arm up. Inhale, straighten your front leg. Stand up tall. Adjust your back leg or not. And then hinge forward. Reach out as far as you can. As far as you can, far as you can, far as you can. Then lower the left arm, right arm up. Bye. Be careful. Right arm up, left arm down. I'm talking to all of you. Be careful too, but no. You're in good hands. Breathe. So think about that, rotating or pressing your left hip towards your right side a little more. Right shoulder stacks over. Inhale and exhale. Can you reach your hand to the ceiling? Good. Look down at your left toes. Inhale, reverse this. Exhale, come back. Return through warrior two to a low lunge. Hands on the floor block. Roll your hip towards the floor. And then we're going to plant the right palm and just spin off onto both outer edges of your feet. You know, as best you can. Good. So really getting into those tricky little IT band areas, which, you know, if they're tight, they pull on your knee. They're very uncomfortable. They create pain. So we, just like anything else in our body, we want to, you know, create some space, open it up. Good. Take another breath as you begin to turn yourself back around to the front lunge, and then straighten your front leg. And decide if you want your arms in front of you, perhaps behind you. Hips are squared. Inhale, and lengthen. Exhale. One more breath. Good. Hands down. Rebend your front knee. Step back to a three-legged dog. Square off your hips and choose to be in a three-legged or four-legged vinyasa, or skip it all together. Let's meet back in downward facing dog. Good. Soften your knees. Walk your hands to your feet, back of the mat. Grab opposite elbows and sway. Hang, sway. Don't sway. Just hang. Whatever feels good to you. Just keep your feet grounded firmly. So, you know, anytime you're in a standing position, whether it's one or two legs, your feet are the foundation. So they're really what keeps you balanced and stable. Switch the arms if you're crossing, if you're holding. Right? So without the foundation of our houses, what happens, right? So think of your feet as the foundation for all your standing poses. And then release the arms, chin comes in. So we build it from the ground up. Without that foundation, we cannot be stable. So stay nice and strong in your legs. Push down through the feet, lift up through the knees. Bring your tailbone underneath you, level out your pelvis. Collarbones broaden, chin is parallel to the floor, and the crown of the head reaches towards the sky. And I'd love to say it's that simple, but it's that simple. And yet it's not. Inhale, sweep your arms up overhead. Bring your hands to prayer and bring your weight more to your left leg without collapsing into it. So stay upright and then just start to lift your right foot off the floor. Good, then bring the knee to the chest. Keep hugging the left hip in like you were just doing standing up. Extend your right leg in front of you. Flex the foot. Step it down where it lands. Hinge forward. Keep your hands at your heart, or begin to bring your arms back behind you. Dip your belly, arch your back. Good, come back in. Stand up with 2 feet on the floor, hands in prayer. And then shift the weight to the right leg, lift the left heel. So you'll notice a little bit of a shift, but you don't want to put a collapse into it. So the left leg is, pretend it's still there. Then bring the knee up to the chest. Extend the leg out, and then step it down where it falls, a couple of feet in front of you. Hinge forward, right leg perhaps lifts up. Sweep the arms back. And from here, listen, turn your torso, bring your left arm to the floor, towards the floor. And then eventually you might land it on a block or on the floor, half moon pose. Opening up shoulder hip, flex your right foot. So your leg should be in line with you. If you have a wall or a door or closet behind you, whatever is behind you, push your foot into it. Use it. It's great. Right? It just gives us that length, that stability. Right arm up over your shoulder. Keep spinning. This is triangle on your one leg. So everything we did in triangle, you know, we're following through here, except we lift the top leg off the floor. But guess what? We're going to go back to triangle. Soften your front knee. Keep your right arm up or put it at your hip. Step yourself back as far as your body will allow you to get comfortably, and then straighten your front leg triangle. Maybe you look up. Lift the bottom side of your torso up and in. Legs are strong, strong, strong. Inhale, rise up. Turn your left toes to the right. Take your arms behind your back. Interlace your fingers, palms together, knuckles down. Lift your heart. Exhale, fold in between your two legs. Let your head come down and your arms come up. And again, now shift the weight into the balls of the feet so the hips come over the heels and we don't hyperextend through the knees. Release your hands underneath your shoulders, lengthen your spine, inhale. Turn your toes out and bend your right knee towards the right. Walk your hands a little closer, perhaps let your arms come off the floor. So your torso is parallel, head to tailbone. So we're not in a very low seat, we're not in a very high seat. One more breath. If you can do this without touching the floor, begin to straighten your right leg and bend your left knee. Good. Take another breath. Spin around to your left leg, turn your hips forward. Take a three-legged dog here, open up your left hip. Look behind you over your right shoulder. If you like flipping your dog, here's an opportunity to take it either into a wheel or a fallen triangle or a dancer's bridge, whatever verbiage you use. One more breath. Good. Release. Left leg in the air. Step your left foot all the way through. Help it out if you need to. Right leg meets it, top of the mat, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to stand, bring the arms up. Exhale, bring your hands to prayer. Hinge forward, soften your knees. Come about halfway down. Lift your left leg off the floor. Balancing back into that warrior three. Good. Now release your right arm towards the floor. And then eventually you can touch to the floor. You don't have to. Maybe you want to try that balance challenge. But if you do, put it down in front or to the side or on a block. Right arm down, left arm up. Half moon, Ardha, Chandrasana. Hug your hip in, lift your knees up. Spin your heart open, breathe. Find firmness in the standing leg, just like we did on two legs. It's the same thing, but you're on one. Take another breath. All the things you felt in your triangle, feel here in your half moon. And then softly bend your right knee. Step back into your width for your triangle pose. Straighten the front leg. And there you are, triangle. AKA my favorite yoga pose. You probably figured that out by now. One more breath. Inhale, come up. Turn your right toes to the center. Interlace your hands behind your back the other way. One finger over, knuckles down, heart lifts. And then exhale, fold over. Head down, arms up. Inhale and exhale. And just settle in for a few moments. We've had a lot of opportunity to stretch these muscles. So let's just relish in that. And then gently release your hands under your shoulders. Turn your toes out. If you shortened your triangle, you might have to open your legs a little wider. Bend your left knee. Send your weight back behind the knee. Walk your hands a little bit closer to your left side. And then see if you want to just float your arms up. Find a really strong, stable core. Lots of work in the legs. Head to tailbone, one line. Good. And either, take your hands to the floor and shift sides, or just shift over to the other side. Good. Inhale, release your hands as you exhale, turn to the front of your mat. Low lunge. Three-legged dog, right leg in the air. If you like to fall over, follow your right foot to the left side. Don't fall, just place it. Either into a wheel pose or a dancer's bridge. And reverse it, right leg in the air. Step your right foot forward. Step your left foot to meet at the top of the mat. Halfway lift. Forward fold, let it go. Oh, I know. I'm going to give you something. Step back to downward dog. Somewhere along the line. Left leg eye in the sky. Left knee to your chest, round curl. Stay here. Left knee, left tricep. Left knee, right tricep. Left knee, center. Left leg in the air, three-legged. Step it forward. Right foot meets the top of the mat, halfway lift. Exhale. I would hate to get that email that said we forgot one side. And then round your spine, come up. Bring your arms up together in prayer. And to your heart center, exhale. Inhale, stretch the arms up. Exhale, forward fold, hands to floor, shins or blocks. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step, step, high plank, pause. Right hand stays, right knee can come down. Spin into your side plank. Any variation with the top leg, any variation with the top arm. Lift your hips up. Good, exhale, plank. Left hand stays, left knee can come down. Turn to the right side. Stack, stagger, lift, whatever you did on one side, see if you can do it again on the other side. And then inhale, bring your hands to the floor, exhale, plank pose. Now lower your forearms to the floor. Shift your legs back so your shoulders are over your wrists, or elbows, excuse me. Right hand stays, spin it around. Same thing, knee could be on the floor. Find a little core work going on. Exhale, left hand down. Come through center. Choose how you want to be on the other side. You want your knee down? Do you need your knee down? Stack it. Lift up. So you're pushing through your forearm to keep that lift in the torso. And then lower the forearm to the floor. Elbows underneath shoulders. Now shift a little forward. Open your arms and place your hips to the floor. Sphinx pose. Ah, we got there. Pull your heart center through. Lifting up, you're above the pubic bone, below the hip bones. So your belly button's pulled up, your belly button's not on the floor. Your pelvic floor is lifted. If you feel that you'd like more, straighten your arms. Drop your shoulders. And then release it back. And everybody push back to child's pose. Walk your arms to the right side. Left arm takes on top of the right, pushing your left hip to your heel more. switch sides. Inhale to center. Exhale, let it go. And then come up to your knees. And I'm just going to change my mat, but I want you to come into a wide-legged straddling pose on the floor. And by that, you can have yourself on the long edge of your mat, or you can have yourself in the short edge of your mat. It doesn't matter to me, and shouldn't to you, whether your legs are wide or not. If you have difficulty finding this position, take your hands behind your back and lift yourself up. So think about a few things. It doesn't have to be very wide, right? It doesn't have to be even your widest expanse. Turn your toes up to the ceiling and slightly back. If your upper body slumps, slumpasana, sit on a block. Or bring your legs in closer. Or again, bring your hands behind your back. So find some lift, some length. We've been in this type of pose a lot today. Good. Now if you can let go and reach your hands in front of you, just reach as far as your arms will go without rounding your back or going even down. So don't go too far forward. Good. Now keeping that length in your torso, walk to your right side, stay upright again. Rotate your torso and drop your left hip towards the floor. Inhale. And exhale. Now hinge a little bit more forward with your torso long. Notice I'm tented up on my fingertips a little bit. Inhale, lengthen again. Walk through center. Over to your left side. Find the length, inhale. And exhale, fold a little bit. Hinge. Push your right hip to the floor. So two sitting bones are pressing into the floor, two sides. Inhale up. Walk to the center. And now walk yourself out. I like to take a block personally and keep walking out until I find my length. But again, it's not a rounded back. So the head doesn't go to the floor. The collarbones pull forward, shoulders pull back. Hips open out, breathe in and out. And then keep working it forward, forward, forward as best you can. Everybody's going to be different. If you're super duper flexy, walk out as far as you can, but put your hands on a block. Or maybe even your feet. One more breath. Inhale, come back up, lift through your spine, walk your block back in if you took it. And then just bring your legs, shake them out, bring them closer together, and come face the short edge of your mat if you're not there. Separate your feet so the heels line up with your sitting bones. Take your hands underneath your thighs. Have a block nearby should you want that. Sit up tall, just like we did earlier, way back when, sitting in front of your sitting bones, not behind them. Nice and tall. And then release one or two arms. See how you go. If you start to change your spine, then open up your knees in line with your hips. So Karen, open your knees a little, yeah. Breathe. Bring your chin to your chest now and now around your back. So pull the belly in, scoop out your belly. C curve of your spine. Take a breath. Exhale, maybe a little bit deeper. Inhale. Exhale, maybe a little bit deeper. Inhale. Exhale, a little bit more. Keep doing that until you find your way all the way down. So it might take you a couple more movements. And then don't get hung up on the fact that it's working here. It's a lot of work. When you finally make your way down to the floor, hug your knees all the way up to your chest. Place your left foot on the floor, right ankle above the left knee. Right hand, press, or maybe both hands, press the right leg away. Keep the action action in the right leg pressing away as you open your arm out. So now you've got to use your leg. And then draw the legs to the right side. I personally like to take my left shin parallel to the front edge of the mat, and we're back into that outer hip band. One more time without stress. Return to the center, inhale. Cross right leg over left leg once or twice. Move your hips to the right, let your knees fall to the left side. So listen to your body and let it tell you if the double crossing is too much or just enough. Uncross your legs, come back to center, hug your knees in, happy baby pose. Hold on to the bottoms of your feet, big toe, little toe, underneath your thigh. Just keep your tailbone down on the floor. Hug your knees to your chest, bring them all the way in close. Right leg on the floor. Left ankle above the right knee. Left hand guides the knee away from you. So you're opening up that little crease in the hip area. And even the right crease, right hip will too. Flex the foot. Now, your hand is assisting your leg. So just like in our side angle pose, when you lift your arm, did your torso move? Now, if you lift your arm away from your left leg, can you keep the leg with the action of pressing away? Open the arms out to a T. And then drop your legs over to the left side. Right shin, perhaps, parallel to the floor. You can also place your knee on the block if there's any discomfort in the hip area, like mine. Inhale back to center. Cross the left knee all the way over the right knee once or twice. Shift your hips left, let your knees fall to the right. Uncross the legs, bring yourself back to center. Hug your knees into your chest and take another happy baby. Excuse me. Come on back to center. Hug your knees in, lift your head and shoulders up, round and curl your spine. And then hold on behind your calves and stretch your legs straight up in the air. Lift your head and shoulders, and maybe you can lift your hips up, reach your hands to your feet. 3, 2, 1. Head down, legs up. Arms by your side. Some of you may choose to have your arms supported underneath your hips. Otherwise, keep them right out to the sides of your hips. Bringing your tailbone now to the floor, flex and point through your ankles. Maybe even roll through the ankles a couple times. Take a breath in, lower, a third of the way down, flex point, roll through the ankles. Take another breath. Exhale, come down 2 to 3 feet, point flex, roll through the ankles. And now take a breath as you lower the heels, rise up onto your forearms, lift your chest, top of the head resting just softly, maybe not at all. Any variations with your legs, arms, chest, or in this pose. There's no weight in your head, so you're pushing the weight into the forearms to lift and open the chest. Take a few more rounds of breath if you can stay here. When you're ready to come out, gently tuck the chin to the chest and roll down to the floor. Relax your arms and legs. Take your hands together, interlace your fingers, turn the palms away from you, bring them over your head. And then bring the hands behind your head like we did way back in the beginning. Flex your feet now. Bring your elbows by your ears. Take a breath. Exhale, lift your head, chest, or shoulders up a little bit. Point your elbows towards your feet. Your feet are straight up towards the ceiling. Your legs are very, very active. So it's a neck stretch. One more time. One more breath. Come up a little higher if you can. And then exhale, head down, arms down, feet down. Everything lets go. Take a breath in. Empty the breath. Anything else that you'd like to take for a moment or two as you prepare yourself for this final pose, Shavasana. As you make your way into this pose, there's nothing to do. It's a pose of being, not doing. Nice, Cindy. And if you're taking any other poses, take your time, but make your way back into a comfortable seat and onto your backs to let go. Taking all the tension away from the top of the head, the forehead, the bridge of the nose, the tip of the nose, the cheeks, the jaw, the ears, the tongue soft, the throat, chest, upper back, abdomen, middle and lower back, pelvic floor is relaxed, gluteals are relaxed, quadriceps and hamstrings are relaxed, knees are soft, calf, ankles, tops and bottoms of your feet, your toes, shoulders, biceps and triceps relax, forearms, wrists, fingers, hands, palms, tops of your hands. And most important, your head, your brain drops. The thoughts come away. They show up, let them fleet, pass on through, let go. Slowly begin to deepen your breath, and if you can stay longer, just turn off the sound. Start to bring your awareness back into your space. And reintroduce small movements back to your fingers, toes, wrists, ankles. And as you once again draw your knees to your chest, take yourself onto the other side. Bringing your hands back to your heart center. Give thanks to yourselves for showing up, for doing the work. And I always am grateful and appreciative for you showing up. And as we bow down to each other, we honor the light, the peace, the goodness, the love, the beauty within each one. Namaste. Satnam. Go in peace. Shanti. Everybody have a wonderful day. Stay home, stay fit, stay healthy. Get vaxxed. Wear masks.